Hey guys, welcome to our Workshop Wednesday video for today. I actually had a different topic that I was planning on talking to you about today. I'm just gonna bump that. And I'm getting so many of the same questions just this morning alone between social media and a phone call that I had. So I was like, you know what? In case you guys are having some of the same questions, I'm gonna address that here. Basically, the question was different variations of it, but the question was about having stubborn weight loss issues, right? So there's this weight that just won't budge. For somebody, it was after having a baby. For somebody else, it was a hormone that she was taking, that she was prescribed years ago, that she gained tons of weight within the span of 1 month and hasn't been able to take it off. And some of the other questions, they didn't give me the details of it, so I don't really know what their situation is. But basically, stubborn weight loss, it's not coming off. You've tried so many things before, it either hasn't worked or it worked, but then it didn't last. And these are people that are like interested in doing my coaching program with me, but they're skeptical, of course, right? Because they are not sure. It's a time investment and it's a financial investment, and they're scared to do something like that if they don't know if it's gonna work, right? So I'm going to share a little bit about my program in here, but that's really actually not what this video is about. I just want to talk to you in general about, weight loss working / not working and lasting and things like that. Because I think that's something that whether you and I ever work together or not, you may be interested in. A lot of people that watch these videos, I think, would be interested in that. So, hey, Christine, thanks for watching. Just a little side note, I have one child on a Zoom call with a teacher and another child that keeps trying to interrupt her. So I wasn't able to do this video at another time, otherwise I would have. If I have to go suddenly, that's why, and I hope you guys understand and forgive me, and I will come back and finish it whenever I can. And if we don't know each other yet, my name is Tara. I'm a registered nurse, a health coach, a nutritionist, a personal trainer, and I help people get healthy, fit, and strong. I have an online virtual program in which I do this, and people have been interested in it right now because they're stuck at home anyway, and they don't have the same temptations of fast food and restaurants, right? Some people have more time on their hands, some people have less, but either way, they're pretty much they're home more, they can do home workouts, and I think really the catalyst has been that people are scared. We see that we've got this acute thing going on. There's a virus that's circulating, but we see that really what it is a chronic disease issue, whereas this virus is really taking down people. I mean, killing people, but I also mean just really affecting people greatly that are not metabolically healthy. So either there's the extra weight to lose, there's other things behind the scenes there's other inflammation and stuff, or that's not always the case. A lot of times we are at a normal weight, a healthy weight, and we're still not metabolically healthy. In fact, the stats show that 2 out of 3 Americans that are at a healthy weight, I'm going to do this, air quotes, but a healthy weight, are not metabolically healthy. So there's other things going on. There's cholesterol issues, blood sugar issues. If there's not yet blood sugar issues, there's insulin issues that are sort of masking the problem of the blood sugar right now. So your blood sugar could be normal, but if no one's testing your insulin can be spiking, and you can be tiring out your insulin in your pancreas. These are things that you're not going to see for maybe a decade, right? So once our blood sugar starts to go, it means look back for the previous decade or two, that's when things actually the tires started to fall off at that point. It's just that not enough doctors are taking a look that closely, that deeply, to see what's really going on. So I think a lot of people, there's cholesterol, there's your waist circumference, because that will tell you how much fat is sort of strangulating your organs. I know that's an awful way to put it, but if you've got a larger waist circumference, that means there's all of that extra fatty tissue that is in and around those organs too, those vital organs that we need to be functioning so well. And besides that, the excess body fat in and of itself is like another organ. It takes on a whole other function. It starts secreting all of these inflammatory cytokines and things like that, just having the excess fat. So this is I help people lose weight, sure, but really I help people get healthier. It's not just about weight loss. I have people that come to me, they want to put on muscle, they want to gain weight. It's really just about taking you from where you're at and helping you get to a point where you are feeling healthy, you're feeling confident, you are moving throughout your day, you've got the energy that you need, and you're just metabolically healthy and you're shining. So Christine's here. I gotta get back on the boat, Tara. Oh, go enjoy the boat. Hey, Cassandra. Hey, Christy. Thank you guys for joining. All right, so I feel like that was quite a long tangent that I just went off on. But basically, that is why people seem to be really interested now, more so than ever, in correcting their health. They're very interested in it. They see what's going on and they realize that it's time to take a hold of what's going on inside their own bodies, right? Because we can control this. So it drives me bananas when I see people at the grocery store with like their mask and their gloves and then their cart full of cookies and Doritos. Because I promise you, it's just, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be wearing your mask, but I am saying that you should be thinking about how the things that we put inside our body are going to affect you, sure, for the long run, but if you can't even think about that right now, even in this short-term thing, as we deal with this virus, the foods that you put in your body are going to be affecting your outcome should you get sick with this virus. Research was very scarce in the beginning, right? Because it's a new virus. So I'm sort of like, I've been watching it all as it's coming out and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to put together a little bit of the pieces. But now day by day, we're getting so much more research and I'm not conducting any research, but I am reading everything that I can. And it's so clear now that this is an issue of chronic disease. It's an issue of acute disease layered on top of chronic disease, taking out people who typically have chronic disease. That's the vast majority of what you see out there. Will there be some outliers out there that it's like they had no health conditions? Sure. But even with those, I'm a little skeptical. If you really were to look under the hood, how is their insulin, their blood sugar, all that stuff? Was that person really, truly very healthy? I'm not sure. If I get this virus, will I be okay? I don't know. But all I know is that I can do certain things. I can put certain habits into place that's going to get me the best odds. I'm going to make sure that my weight is a healthy weight. I'm going to make sure my body fat percentage in and of itself is healthy, right? Because I could be a normal weight, but still be over fat, so to speak, and I'm not trying to use any terms that are triggering, but just have a higher than healthy body fat percentage, right? So it's not always just about the weight, but also I'm going to watch my blood sugar. I'm somebody that used to have issues with blood sugar control. I used to have prediabetes and PCOS. So that's an area for me that I know is an Achilles heel and I really have to watch that. So these are just things that I'm mindful of for myself and I want to share with you in case you're interested as well. Oh, Christine, you meant the weight loss boat, not the boat. I was like, you're going on a boat? That's amazing. I'm looking at the weather. I'm like, I don't know if it's really boating weather here. The weight loss boat. Yeah, got it. So anyway, the stubborn weight loss thing that I'm talking about here, what people are bringing up is such a valid point because you've tried everything in the past, right? Most people I speak to, they've done all these different diets. They've even dabbled with trying to do it as a lifestyle change, but it just hasn't worked. And so there's a few things that I have to say here. Number one, we have to understand, and again, sometimes it's hard because you want to tiptoe around these issues. It can be triggering for people for sure. And so it's like this balance of trying to say things in a way that's not going to trigger people, but also say the truth because we need to definitely talk about the truth. And that's what you're going to get with me. Nobody defies the fact that there's a math equation to weight loss, fat loss. I'm going to talk body fat loss here. There's an equation to it. If you take in less energy than you use up, you will have to tap into your body stores and burn that and use that up as energy. Your body has no other choice. So we talk about being in a calorie deficit or an energy deficit because it's easy to wrap our mind around, but there's actually no such thing as a deficit. You're not depriving yourself of the calories that it needs. Your body will always get the calories it needs. It will just take it from your stored body fat. So simple math equation, let's say for argument's sake, you need 2,000 calories to run your body for all the things that it does. Now, the amount of calories that everybody needs varies greatly. So I'm not saying that you need 2,000, but go with me here. So you need 2,000, let's just say, and you end up taking in, let's say 1,500. You do it in a way that covers all your bases. You're very well nourished. You're not starving. Might you feel hunger at points? Yeah, of course, because your body, once it taps into its body fat stores, is going to start sending you hunger signals, because what it wants to do is not use up your body fat stores. It wants to keep them stored. So of course you're going to be getting some hunger signals, but you should not be starving and you should not be hungry all of the time. Absolutely not. So you take in 1,500 calories, let's just say. It's balanced, it's nourished, you're getting all of the things you need. Okay, we're talking about really feeding our body well. This is not a deprivation thing here, but you're doing so with taking in less calories from your food than you're actually using up. And you do it with a sizable deficit that will make a difference, but not too much, okay? If you try to lose weight too fast, your body won't just be taking from your body fat. It'll be taking off of your muscle and anywhere it can get, and you're actually then lowering your metabolism and making your weight loss efforts in the future a problem. Never mind the fact that then you're not having, most people say they want that toned look, right? If you're eating up your muscles, you're not gonna have that toned look. So it's really important that you actually pace out the fat loss at a proper pace, not too fast, because then you're not just losing body fat. So you say take in 1,500 calories, your body then will take the other 500 calories that it needs and take it from your stored body fat. So at the end of the day, your body is still getting all 2,000 calories that it needs. It's just taking most of it from the food that you ate today and a little bit of it from the food that you ate, weeks and months ago that you didn't need at that time, so it got stored on you and now it's being used up. That's what our body fat is there for, right? It's there to be stored and then used and then stored and then used. So no shame in that. If you have more body fat that you want to lose, it just means that you've got more stored energy and you'll get through it, okay? So my point is that it's impossible for this to not work, okay? You might need a lot less calories. You might have tanked your metabolism. You might not move very much or do any resistance training. You're not gonna need nearly as many calories or carbs then as somebody else who's super active all the time, right? Your body size affects things. Your age will affect things a bit. You could have hypothyroidism, but none of that matters in terms of the basic principles of fat loss. It is still across the board that if you take in less calories than your body's using up, you will be going through your body fat stores. It works every time. It's the only way of it. Now, that's obviously very simplified. Hi, Cynthia. Hey, Tom. Christine's laughing at me. So I'm obviously simplifying it quite a lot because that's really just the math of it. There's a whole science of it too. And if you know me at all or follow any of my stuff, you know that I'm not just about weight loss and fat loss. In fact, that's the thing that gets me the least excited. It's just the thing that you guys always want and you guys always come to me. And I'm grateful for that because whatever's going to get you through the door to start working with me, or even if it's just that you follow my free stuff, that's fine, because then I'm hoping that once I have you, then we work on your health at the same time. So I'm not going to get anybody their weight loss goals without also doing it in a way that's going to promote their health and get them healthier, in the meantime. But because this question is so specifically about stubborn weight loss, if you have the right plan in place, it will 100% work if you do the work and you're consistent. That's it. But duh, right? Of course that's it. So it is impossible for it to not work if you're doing the right things, like I was talking about with this math equation here. But what happens is everybody sort of puts their attention on whether this is right or not. They don't have the patience to let it ride out and see if it works. They're not consistent enough with doing what they're supposed to do. So they, a lot of times this is what people do when they try to do this on their own. So they're not consistent. They're not tracking their consistency. So at the end of the month, they're like, oh, I tried that, but it didn't work. Well, did it not work, or were you just not consistent enough to be able to make a determination if it worked or not, right? Because those are two completely different things. So you can certainly do all of this on your own. But when clients do work with me, the accountability is a big portion of what we do because we track consistency. They can track it on their end. I can track it on my end, and we can see, did that work or not? Well, were you at least 80% consistent with the things that you were supposed to be doing here, right? So we discuss it, of course. This is a two-way street. I'm not just telling somebody what to do. They're telling me what it is that they want to do and what they need and all of that, of course. So for me, the plan aspect when I work with clients is a very small percentage of what we do. It's, I figure it out, I crunch some numbers, I take a look at their whole health history and all that stuff, and I figure out that plan. And it's not a meal plan, but it's more like what portion sizes you need, what type of fitness regimen you need, that type of a thing, right? The majority of my time and effort then is on coaching the client, because I'm telling you, you need to be consistent and you need to put in the work. But I can't just leave it at that because I'm not coaching you. So that's the trouble for most people. The trouble for most people is putting in the work and being consistent. So then it becomes about that whole other layer. So how do we make sure that you're able to put in the work and be consistent? What are some of those things that get in the way? Well, for one, emotional eating, stress eating, binge eating, overeating, that is a huge thing for most people. Standing in the way for most people. So you can have the best intentions all day long. You could plan out what you want to eat for all your meals. But if you have an issue with emotional eating and every night at 8 o'clock you hit the pantry and you don't have control over what you're eating, that plan's not going to work for you. And you're not going to be able to be consistent with it, of course, right? So who am I to just give you something to follow and not actually coach you through all of those things? We have to talk about habits. We have to talk about emotional eating as a big one. We have to talk about your self-identity and your confidence, and some of those things that are maybe a little bit more woo-woo, but they matter so much, because if you go into this saying like, I'll give it a whirl, I'll try it, but you don't have that conviction that you're going to do it this time, then that actually is going to interfere with you getting results and you showing up and you being consistent. The same thing goes with your self-identity. If you're still somebody who's saying, I'm lazy, I can never do it, that's going to show up that way. You are going to show up. You are going to be lazy that way. So we have to work on those things first. So one of the biggest things that I suggest is tackling the mindset aspect first. It's not, I don't know if they're calling me. It's not the sexiest thing, right? You want to start working and you want to dive into it right away. I do give some things up front to let people start working right away. That's sort of like a secret gift, but now you know. But for the most part, we just talk about mindset in the first couple of weeks and that's it. We're setting the foundation so that when we go into the nutrition, we go into the fitness, and we talk about all the lifestyle changes, those things, we can lay them down, we could layer them on top of each other, and they take hold. They take place and they last. The other thing is, at the end of our time together, so my program is 12 months long, the last 6 weeks, we talk about sustainability, what to do when you hit a plateau, how you set future goals for yourself, because maybe you're exactly where you want to be, but maybe you're going to have future goals that you want to set. Yes? Sorry. Okay, I'll be right there. Real life. Okay, I'll be right there, bud. So, the last 6 weeks, we're talking about how to make your changes last, how to get over plateaus, because they always happen. So how do you get over that next plateau? How do you coach yourself? Because at the end of the day, this is a matter of if you're going to do this on your own and you're not going to work with a coach, or you're going to work with a coach first and then do this on your own. At some point, though, you're going to need to learn how to set goals and stick to them. And there's self-coaching skills that are involved there. There's the whole layer of things that once you figure them out and you practice them, you're like, whoa, that's amazing. How come I didn't know that my whole life? These were things that I wish I knew. I could have coached myself through my academic career and things like that. Hey, Pamela. Hey, Doug. So that's the key to stubborn weight loss. Basically, if you do the right thing, it's not going to be stubborn. You're going to see the results. You want it to be incremental and gradual, and it should not be more than about 1% of your total weight per week, ideally less than that. So these quick fixes, it's kind of ironic because they actually don't fix anything. If you're taking off weight too fast, you're not just taking off body fat, you're taking off lean muscle mass, things that are actually going to help you with future body composition and things like that. So it's a no good. It's no good if you're losing weight too fast. So if you're not making any progress at all, well, you're just not finding that energy balance yet. So either it's that you don't know what the energy balance is yet, or you know what it is, but for some reason you're not able to maintain it, to put in the work, and to be consistent enough to actually see the results. The consistency factor, I did a video, I think, or a post recently. It's really just about 80%. You don't have to be 100% consistent. So if you can be at least 80% consistent to, your plan that's going to move you in the right direction, you will see the results. If you're not losing body fat, you are not in an energy or calorie deficit, period. I'd love to say it's more. I say this all the time. I'd love to say that you could do shots of apple cider vinegar and pour cinnamon all over all of your food, and that's going to magically burn fat, or chew gum all day long to burn an extra calorie or whatever. That stuff just doesn't work. That's just not the thing that you need. That's not the thing that's missing. It's finding that energy balance and then learning how to be consistent with it. If you guys have any questions, of course, leave them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.